Hello everyone, welcome back to ProTube with ARPRO. So team, today we have the first episode of Inspire with ARPRO. So all of you are ready for the new program, I guess? Okay. So team, today we have a very special guest and this is part of our brand new program, Inspire. Now, Inspire is a program wherein we bring in entrepreneurs who have grown from nowhere to what they are today. So we have a very special guest. The trailer is already out. You must have already seen that. So before we go further, I just want to confirm that my audio is clearly audible to everyone. Am I audible? Clear? Waiting for your response. Yes, great. So team, as discussed, we have with us Pro Sibi Mathai. Now you must have already seen the trailer. So what do you know about him already? Okay. Okay. So we have Pro Sibi Mathai with us. So as you all know, Sibi Mathai started his journey in the auto industry as a trainee at Tata Motors. From there, today he has grown to be one of the largest Volvo bus and truck dealers for India. He is the sole dealer for entire state of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So he is here with us and you can watch him live on this program. And of course, he'll be sharing his life experience on his journey from an employee to owning the dealership that he used to work in and today expanding to 3 states across India. So let's welcome Pro CB to Inspire. Pro CB, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so over to Pro CB. Pro CB, good morning, and we have our team with us here.
Good morning.
Welcome to
Good
Inspire.
morning, all. Thank you so much.
So, Prosibi, it was great in conversing with you yesterday and sharing us your story. So, in fact, today we have a team with us with whom you can share your story live. So, we would like to know from the start how did it all go? So, was it a planned decision to come on to auto industry or it just happened by chance?
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question. It was actually not a very planned decision. It all happened just like that. I mean, if you ask me my starting, no, studying or choosing a career as in automobile engineering was of course a passion. My father was a very famous person when it comes to vehicle and driving in 1960s and 70s. So, when I was grown, probably from that day we have automobile at home, and I actually started driving vehicle when I was studying in school actually, okay, without even license. So we were so passionate about automobile, there's no doubt. And that was the reason, I chose automobile engineering after my college. And I studied in a technical high school. I don't know how many of you know in Kerala, we have a concept called technical high school. It is very few. So normally all the people they pass out from the 10th grade. It used to be called SSLC, but this is called tech certification, THSLC. So from class 7, I was studying technical things like instead of English, we used to study engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. So from school days, I was on technical side. Then, of course, with the family background and the interest, and all boys generally are so passionate about automobile, like my son. So most of your son will be so passionate about car toys. So I was also passionate, but starting my business was actually not planned. But choosing automobile was, of course, my passion.
That's fantastic to know. So, you started your career with Tata Motors after your polytechnic.
Yes.
So, how did you get? Your first start at Tata Motors.
That was actually a campus selection. I done my diploma automobile engineering Government Polytechnic Kalamassery. That was the year I passed out in the year 1994. And there was a campus selection, and they have selected 4 of us. And those days, there was a training in Tata Motors called WST. I don't know, people at the age of 40 plus maybe knowing about that course. That course is no more available with Tata Motors. If my information is correct. But that was a wonderful where we will learn everything about an automobile, right from design, making make it short automobile. The complete process will be studied in a Tata Jamshedpur plant. It is almost a 4 months duration. After that, will be sending to their own service center. Tata had own service center without any Tata Motors. There was only 2 those days, which was one in Bhubaneswar and one was in Delhi. So we were all sent to Delhi after the manufacturing plant training. So the manufacturing plant training, as I rightly told you, that time it was called Telco. Tata Motors name came much later. Telco stands for Tata Engineering and Locomotive Service Limited. You know, Tata was the first company. They introduced a train in India. They introduced aircraft in India. When today's Air India is actually that company, parent company was in Jamshedpur. You know, the name of the place itself is named after the Jamshedji Tata. Is the founder of Tata Group. So we were there in Jamshedpur for 4 months, where we learned everything, right from making an iron piece into an automobile. Then we were sent to Delhi for the service center, where we were working as a technician, and we learned how to maintain the vehicle, how to do the repair. So after completion of the training, you will be a engineer for an automobile. So that was, and we were four from Kerala, and we were around 30 people in the batch, from almost all from South Indian states, like those days, all leading dealers in South India, like Arvind Motors, Prerna Motors from Bangalore, Karnataka, then couple of Sai and couple of dealers from MG from Andhra Pradesh, then Tamil Nadu VST Motors, then few people from Bihar and UP. So it was an all India program. So the fantastic training, I was told that is discontinued. So 1 year training really mold us to become a real automobile professional. Then we worked in Tata Motors for a few months. Then I think, yeah, by 98, Volvo came to India. So we learned everything from Tata Motors, days in the life, living in Tata at a very young age. So I went to Tata Motors at the age of 18, 19. So, and we shared the same hostel where great Ratan Tata, GT, after his completion of engineering, he studied, he was a trainee in Tata Motors, Ratan Tata. So we were staying in the same hostel where he stayed during his training period in Tata Motors. So memorable. And a couple of them back, I was in it again. Yeah, that's about Tata Motors.
Okay. Team, I guess we have some technical issue. Just hold on. Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry, we had a small network issue and we are back with ProCB. So over to him. So ProCB, you were talking about your experience in Tata Motors. So
Yeah.
you were sharing the hostel with Mr. Ratan Tata himself.
I said he stayed in the same hostel. We stayed in the same hostel where we stayed.
Okay.
He might be very senior. So that is very, everybody consider that hostel even today. Like this is the place where Ratan lived for a few months, training period. So we were fortunate about share the same place he lived. Probably, I don't know, we might have shared the same room. We don't know which room Ratan that was staying. He might be stayed 10 years prior to us in the same hostel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So that was his journey. In fact, that was how you entered into the commercial vehicle industry. So
Yeah.
after that, what happened? So after your training in Delhi, what happened?
After the training back to India, by the time there was a interesting story happened. We were all sent through a dealer, this WST, which stands for Workshop Supervisory Training. It is intended to mold automobile professional, aftermarket professional. Then they'll be working in the Tata Motors dealerships. That was the idea. And we were sent by a dealership in Kerala. They were very leading leadership in South in 90s. There was only two dealers for Tata Motors in India. In today, we have even a small car company in one city, and you will find a lot of small showrooms in every nook and corner of even villages. But those days, 20 years back, you will find. No, my father used to go to Calcutta to buy ambassador car. Go to the factory directly, drive down the car. So those who was those days, it was not easy to find a dealer. Even in 90s, there was only two dealers for Tata Motors in entire Kerala, and southern part was one dealer and northern part was one dealer. But unfortunately or fortunately, by the time we completed the training and came back, our dealer discontinued due to some reasons. We really don't know the exact reason, but when we came back, our dealership was not there in Cochin. So we were like jobless. But Tata Motors regional office requested us to join the small temporary service center. They provide service center to popular automobiles. It is very famous in South India, one of the major dealers in the entire country. But they were basically an automobile spare parts dealer. It's called Popular. Then by the time in 1985, Maruti came, they got a Maruti dealership for Kerala and vehicles and services. The only Maruti dealer. And they were having Toyota dealership also, that is DCM Toyota. You may be remembering we are DCM.
Yeah.
In early 90s, a lot of Japanese vehicles came to India with a collaboration with an Indian company. So DCM stands for Delhi Cloth Mill. It is a mill. Maybe you guys are all automobile enthusiasts. So Toyota also have a connection with it. Toyota is basically a cloth manufacturing company in Japan. I was fortunate enough to visit Japan's Toyota factory last year. So that was a cloth making company. That would be the reason when they came to India, they had a tie with a non-automobile company called DCM. DCM Toyota stands for Delhi Cloth Mill. And since they were dealer popular, Tata given a authorized service center approval for popular. So us, we were five of us to join different dealerships. That is temporary center. So I worked in Tata Motors. Actually, I lost my job when I came back, to be very frank. Then actually we were offered to get a job in Tata Motors. Not interested. We want to come back to home. So I joined Popular. That was a temporary dealership for Tata Motors that time. That was 95 from Delhi when we came back. I worked in Tata Motors for 3 years. I was working as a link between Popular Automobiles and Tata Motors because they were very new, know anything about Tata. They were only Maruti dealer and DCM Toyota dealer. So Tata just started. I was acting as a service coordinator and the warranty handler because we were thorough with all warranty process and all with Tata Motors. So I worked few years, I think 2-3 years I was in Tata Motors. By the time Volvo came to India, so Volvo was actually, you know that, everybody know that, Volvo redefined the entire quality of drivers in the country, the quality of automobile in the country, because we were only having Tatas and Leyland, and when Volvo came, people all worried. The one truck was costing 70-80 lakh, where a conventional truck used to cost only 10 lakh rupees those days. And they came with a big plan, and they came in 1998. The first vehicle manufactured in India was on, I still remember, 25th June 1998. That was the first truck rolled out. I joined Volvo exactly on the first birthday of Volvo in India, which was June 25th, 1999. So I got a job through one of my friend in Tata Motors only. So that's how I departed from Tata family and joined Volvo in 99. Continuing my journey with Volvo, I completed 21 years and still going on.
So it's fantastic. So which year did you join Volvo?
99, June 25th.
And what did you join as?
I was joined, yeah, that is an interesting story. Actually, Volvo being one of the leading automobile manufacturer in the world, when they came to India, as I told you, when a conventional truck cost only 10 lakh rupee, a Volvo cost around 50, 60 lakh rupee. And I mean, they couldn't find a dealer actually. And they were not globally, a lot of people are not, may not be aware, Volvo do service by themselves. We have seen a lot of cases where dealerships, because of dealerships, the OEMs suffer a lot. If you don't find a good dealer, they will spoil the name. So Volvo don't at that time don't want to introduce any dealership. So Volvo had their own service center, and they used to sell directly. Even today, in several countries, including India, Volvo sell their trucks and buses directly from the factory, because the vehicles are custom made. Almost all buses are made to order. So the manufacturing starts only after a order is received. Unlike a car or a two-wheeler, globally Volvo manufacture vehicle after getting a confirmed order. So you will not find an Volvo truck or a bus in any showroom, unlike any other product. So that is not just in India. Almost every country, they will exhibit the vehicle in major exhibitions. So Volvo, first of all, you have to understand how Volvo work globally. So they had their own service center. So it was a 100% Swedish multinational without any subsidiary in India. Started a plant near Bangalore city, a place called Hoskote. And they decided to have service center wherever the vehicles are sold more. And Kerala being a state where the customers always try with new product. If you see certain culture or certain state, people always buy a tried out and proven product. But in Kerala, if you notice, now you take example of the Toyota car or even Bharat Benz, people will go ahead and buy. They don't wait to get it tried by other states. So Volvo was also being tried in the first phase itself in Kerala. Actually, in India, Cochin was the fourth workshop after Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, and Bangalore. Yeah, fifth workshop in India. So Cochin, we already had several Volvo trucks already in place. They wanted to have an immediate service center. So there was an interview, and all the senior people were from Sweden and Europe. And we had a person called Hemo Pekinen. He was from Finland. So he was the head of Volvo India operations aftermarket. So they decided to have a service center in India, in Kerala. Then they came to Cochin for a walk-in interview. They planned to have a newspaper publication for the candidature interview. But I came to know these guys are there on the previous night. So I just, without any appointment, I just rushed to the hotel and just knocked the door and get inside, and then said, I got a reference. Then I told him, like, I'm working in Tata Motors. Then he had a nice chat with me. Then I still remember he told his colleague that, don't give an advertisement tomorrow. We will select him. So actually they came for staying here for a few days and give a newspaper advertisement and make some walk-in interview and find out a person. But they didn't do any interview any other person. So I was lucky enough, without any competition, I could join Olo, and I was joined as the workshop in charge. Those days they call it as job controller. Then later they designated me as the service in charge for Kerala. And the Olo operation is also entirely different. They told me to recruit 2 technicians. So when I was selected, there was nothing. Then my first assignment was to find out a place, get into a lease agreement, and they told me some basic requirements. Then I find out a place. Probably it was completely with bush, and it was a dry land which was not utilized for many years. When those days there was no JCBs, and I arranged some local people and get the people place cleaned. Then they sent a container from Sweden. That container, now it is quite popular. Those days it was like a special thing. That container have an air conditioned room and a compressor room, spare parts room, special tools room. So that was a workshop actually. So that came from Sweden, and
so it is something like a portable workshop.
Absolutely, yeah. So we got the train. So the next day we can start operation. Then we place the container in one. Yeah, so we placed the container in one corner of the space, and we started getting the trucks for repair. So that's how we started, and there was 2 guys with me. But the point what we have to notice is that was my career a breakthrough, where I was the only man and I had to manage the entire show. There are just 2 technicians and myself. So they were also really good. So they could also learn a lot of things, and we were working like a team. We never thought like I'm a manager or a supervisor, there technician, not like that. We were all 3 of us were like a single team, and we were doing right from cleaning, making tea, or parts ordering, customer handling, marketing, finance, HR. It's a complete workshop operation were done by me and just 2 of my colleagues. We were just 3, and that we started in '99, and till 2005 that continued. But when we started, there was only truck. But 2002, Olo introduced buses into India. Then Olo became popular. But if you ask me, I think even automobile professionals, until unless they were so passionate, were not aware of Olo until unless they started truck bus manufacturing. Bus give a lot of visibility to India, to the people in India. But Olo is basically a truck company. Bus is only less than 10% of their turnover. It's a 90% truck company. They have the first electric truck in the world, so advanced that we will talk later about the Volvo's technology and advancement. There, nobody can beat Volvo when it comes to technology in so many fronts. As you know, seatbelt is invented by Volvo. Right from seatbelt, almost all safety aspect, they're all invented by Volvo. Volvo is so passionate about safety and technology. Yeah, that we will discuss maybe a little later.
Yeah. So you started your when you working with Volvo, and you were a team of 3 people. So you were in charge, and you were also handling 2 technicians, and you are working out of a container. That is something really amazing to know. So with such a humble start, how did how did this come to a situation where you started?
Yeah, that is another interesting story. So by the time we were not very strong when it comes to profitability, but we were never compromising on quality. I'm talking about Volvo because I don't differentiate. I work as an employee in Volvo or I do business now because work is passion. We just enjoy. Volvo our core value. They have a lot of guideline and how we work. We say we like you see now a lot of IT companies. They will make a lot of vision statement, mission statement. Everything is possible, but we learn a lot of things from Olo. One example I will tell you: we never litter anything when after we started joining in Olo. We not even spit on the road after we started working in Olo. because it is not just a company. They teach us a lot. So basically how to take care of environment, and always core value. Now it is a fashionable statement, but always core value was quality, safety, and care for environment. That they have decided in 1920s. Those days they were concerned about environment, and they have a working culture that is called work with energy, passion, and respect to the individual. So all these terminologies are getting changed now, but still these are three core value every employee should exhibit. You have to always work with energy and passion. So as you rightly know, energy is your physical energy and passion is your mental energy. So until once you have a physical and mental energy to work, you will really enjoy, and you will work in full swing. Like you just wait. If you're a cricket fan, if you wait for Sachin to hit a century, how curious and excited you are at that moment. The same way you work, you just enjoy the working. So that we really enjoyed. And but because the cost differentiation, like Volvo was Volvo already trained more than I don't know, 1 million or 10 million, I'm sorry. And that means number of drivers in India. And they were, one of their agenda was to, fight against AIDS in India, because the drivers spread AIDS those days. And that was a big, issue in India. Then they always used to give high respect to drivers. They were, all Volvo drivers used to, supposed to drive the truck with a proper proper dress code. We used to call them pilots, truck pilots. So their standard of living was elevated by Volvo, and they become so we tried a lot to improve their self-esteem to be a proud driver, because when we are all the automobile field, we should understand the significance of a driver. A driver should be given most respect. Those days drivers were treated as like not in a very good position. So Volvo made a social impact, and the quality of the vehicle. I'm very proud to say, after Volvo came to India, even Tata Island started improving their product a lot. Like we have a lot of extra mirrors which will give a more visibility to the driver. We have curb observing mirrors. So many technical things. So everybody started copying. It was good, and the quality of the automobile industry has been improved because of Volvo in India. But then later, so many people done a lot of wonderful things. There's no doubt. So, but unfortunately, we were not making enough money, and we could not penetrate in the market much. And even today, after 22 years of existence in Volvo India, we are not a significant player in India. We are still in a very niche market. But the Volvo strategy is to be best in the market, even if it is very small. So I'm talking about especially in India. So we were still in a very small segment, but still we don't compromise on quality, on safety, and other technological advancement. But by 2005, there was enough Volvo buses, and Volvo decided they have a strategic move. They decided to give in private dealerships. So I was one of the early employee. Probably I must be one of the first below first 50 employees, a white collar employee for Volvo India to work, and everybody know me personally. That time it was a very small organization, right from MD to the very low level employees. Everybody know personally each other, and we were all like a family. We never treat anybody like a boss. In Volvo, there was a culture that everybody should be called by the first name. We never used to call anybody sir. Even the MD used to be called by the first name. So they made a lot of cultural change. But by the time 2005, Volvo decided to give private dealership. And then I will lose the job, because if the dealership is not there, I have to move to Bangalore. They offered me a good job, and they don't want to leave me. So they sent me to Malaysia for an advanced training on workshop administration. That was my first foreign trip. Then I came back. Then Volvo sent me an agreement from Sweden to get into a contract to become an IT administrator for workshop, because I was working in the Volvo environment, in the workshop environment for 6 years. And one day I came to Bangalore for a discussion. To be very frank, I know quite a few people here in the group in Bangalore, but I was not very comfortable moving out of Cochin. Then I thought, why to go to Bangalore? Why can't I go to Dubai? Because we have those days at least 7 to 8 flights flying daily from Dubai to Cochin. And Bangalore, we were only using bus. So Bangalore to Cochin, the travel distance is 12 hours, but Bangalore, Cochin to Dubai travel distance is only 4 hours. Then I decided to move out of Volvo. I applied to Al Futtaim and I tried so many other dealership. Actually, I really struggled because I had I think something like a homesickness. I thought I want to be in Cochin. That is the only reason then I thought if there is no other option, uh, maybe you don't believe. I thought I asked, I cannot disclose a name, but very very senior. I mean, one or two of the leading automobile dealers in Cochin. I met the owners. I told them, you take Olo dealership. I will work as a manager, so that I can be in Cochin. I was in a very, very, it's a dilemma, and I don't know what to do. It was really tricky situation. Then uh, one day, my boss, he was Swedish, he asked me, what is your plan? I said, I don't want to work in Bangalore. Uh, okay, then he asked me, why can't you take the dealership? It was a shocker to me. I never expected, and we never imagined to become an entrepreneur. Initially, I said, how can I take dealership? I don't have money. I have only salaries which I earn because my family, it was not rich. My father was only into some basic activities, and we were just like working employees, and whatever I learned from my salary, that was spent in the family. I didn't have any surplus actually. But these Swedish people know, probably the culture. If you cannot, if you study the world culture, the Scandinavian people are much have a different thought process than their Europeans. These people are very genuine. They blindly trust us. So he had a trust and confidence on me. He told me, why can't you take the dealership? That time, my immediate boss was a person called Mr. Amrao. He became very senior position VCV. Then now he is owning all our construction equipment dealership in Hyderabad. I don't know the dealership name. So he was my like a godfather. So he told me, Sibi, you take up the dealership. Then only because I want to be in Cochin, I agreed the challenge. Then I talked to my friend. He was also interested. Then we just started in a very very small way. So what I have done, as I told you, we were just three during the beginning of the dealership, but later when we started getting a lot of buses, although requested, I mean, asked me to take more people, it is like a subcontract, like we take securities. So I have taken 2 3 people on a daily basis. They were all very very young people at the age of 19 20, and they were all like helpers. They were all just ITA qualification. Then I sit with them. Then I agree to Volvo, whatever asset they are having in Bangalore, in Cochin, they transfer to me. We started a small partnership firm, me with my friend, and Volvo sold everything to me at a very, very low value. Even we are having a Tata Sumo, which was an action service vehicle. I think I got the vehicle for 30,000 rupees. That was a book value. So I took all the tools, parts, everything. Then I purchased the parts, and that was on my birthday actually. So I started my career on my birthday in at the age of it was 2005. At the age of 29, I started my entrepreneurship with just 4 employees, with a very small workshop in Kalamassery near Cochin, with just 3 employees. That's how we started in 2005.
Fantastic. It is really inspiring to know, working in a company and, working as a dealership office, I mean, manager, and from there taking over the entire dealership. It was not pure luck, team. It was actually the hard work that Pro Subi had put in, which has actually brought this opportunity to him. That's something really amazing. So, Pro Subi, it was not easy, moving from employee to entrepreneur. What were the kind of challenges that you faced during that time, initial, when you told this at home for the first time that you'd like to take up a dealership? What was the reaction?
Yeah, that is a good question. Actually, like all of us, including you and me, we trust few people, and we always take opinion. There are two situations. One, as you rightly asked, we have to ask the family. I was not married when I take the dealership, so no issue with wife, only my parents, and but my father was also expired just 4 years before I took up the dealership. So it was only my mother and sister. And my sister is elder to me and she was married. So there was no issue from them. They were, my mother and sister was confident. But generally, we keep few people trustworthy and we talk to them. So I spoke to few people. To be very frank with you, nobody encouraged me. They said one of my best friend is very famous. He is a, I cannot disclose his name. He is a known personality. He is a well wisher of me even today. But he told me, Sibi, if you are planning to take a business, before that you get married because you are working in a multinational company. You will get a good wife, maybe good delivery. He was telling me, okay, I didn't take any such thing, but still, he was suggesting me if you're starting a small dealership in a very small way, then the in-law family will think, okay, this guy is running a small business, but working in a multinational those days was a fashion. Those days it was not easy to get a job in a big multinational company. I mean, 20 years back. So that was the advice he gave me, but I didn't take his advice. So we have something called, what I want to tell you, all the people in listening to me, like I used to read a lot of books. There is a beautiful book called The Art of Thinking Clearly. It is quite very famous. A lot of books are available in airport. I don't have it right now. Okay, so there is a story in that book. So what it says is, it's not there. It should be there. Okay, yeah, the art of thinking clearly by Adolf. Uh, uh, I forgot his full name. So, we take decision by a lot of calculation. We make a project report, see the pros and cons, then take a decision. Another decision is we will just like take a decision. It is like an instinct decision. Okay, this was my instinct decision, to be very frank with you. But as Srikanth rightly mentioned, there was a lot of challenges when we get into a decision like this. I didn't think about the consequences, but we have gone through a lot of challenges. But at the same time, one thing I will tell you, I was so passionate working in Volvo. So the same passion I carried, that's it. So that time I was working and I was getting salary. When I started I was getting other benefit. I never focused. Even today, after 16 years of my entrepreneurship, I only take salary from the company. So everything rest will be with the company. So even during this COVID time, we could able to manage. I learned a lot of things which I will share you after this. How to become a good entrepreneur? What are the discipline you should have in your life? But as Srikanth rightly mentioned, there were sleepless nights. No, we work at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. By the time when we look at the clock, it is already 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we just take a bath and go to the office. Like that, non-stop. I worked. Once I worked almost 45, 46 hours. 46 hours.
Wow.
We work like that. I mean, only few instances. I think
Hmm.
in my life, probably 3, 4 days, not 4, maybe 5, 6 days I worked throughout. Maybe I have seen IT company people work like that, but we are not on a project. We are working in a different style, but I work like that. So and we started in a small way, and we didn't get any big jump. So we could able to take the hit. Most of the people will not be able to take the hit because they think something really big. If you are each step are small steps, and the foundations are very strong, I think we can grow. There's no doubt. And my only thing is we were always focusing on excellence. As in the movie Three Idiots, American says, if you follow the excellence, I mean, if you focus on excellence, the success will follow. That is what I can tell you. Very simple.
So you started your journey as an entrepreneur in 2005.
Yes.
So when did you move on to your current location and your first headquarters?
Yeah, that is another interesting thing. We started in 2005 in a very small way in a place called, as I told you, Kalmasheri. We started. Then what happened? You not believe we were having a proper toilet there. So we could not even take a lady staff to take care of the accounting and basic thing. And just 2-bay workshop. We were working day and night. I have initial days. I have 2 guys. They are now head of service in Chennai and Bangalore. One is Ashin and one is Biju. Ashin is now the service manager for Karnataka, and Biju is a service manager for Chennai. Both these guys were just ITI guys, very low profile. Started like just to try, came to help me out. Now they are in a very decent salary, placed in like a state, in charge of the complete state, with just ITA qualification. So we were working day and night in a small place, and we took almost 7 years to move to a better place. Now we have beautiful workshops in Cochin, Chennai, and Bangalore. Bangalore we started off late. That I'll tell you after this. But 2012 we had a decent corporate office, and Volvo have something called DOS, Dealer Operating Standards, which is an international standard. I visited more than 30-40 countries with Volvo, and the biggest or the highest score automobile the Volvo dealer standard workshop in Asia is at Korea, in South Korea, Seoul. I visited that workshop also. They have a grading system. They will give the mark out of 3. So everything is perfect, they'll give 3. And the best out of the best workshop in the world is score is 2.7, which is in Europe. And the best in Asia is in South Korea, Seoul, which is 2.6. And we got 2.4 in Cochin workshop, which is very high. And we were the number
Fantastic.
1. Yeah, with respect to the standards. There are a lot of things which will cover environment, like ISO 19,000, 9,000, 14,000, everything is covered in there, this thing. So we came up to a very good service center from a very humble beginning, even without a proper toilet, just 2-bay workshop. And we were all sitting in the same room. I didn't have a separate room. Okay, we were all sitting in one room. And you not believe, in 2005 we started, and Cochin was not enough to run the show. Then I requested Volvo, and they extended me to Tamil Nadu in 2006. And in 2006, we started an association with a small wheel alignment center in Chennai. And we were operating out of a small room. And we were operating from 2006 to 2012. That is 6 years in a small room. And we were doing a decent business in that place. And you not believe, the entire operation where the service manager, parts, everything is kept in a single room. So we were sitting like sitting inside a parts room. Inside the spare parts, a single room for all the things, including spare parts. And that room, you not believe, is an ATM counter today. It is just a Union Bank ATM counter. So we were doing 70-80 lakh billing per month from a small room. Today that is, so we were working in such a constrained space. 6-7 people were working out of that small ATM counter room. Then in the same year, 2012, we could have a decent workshop in Chennai also, which is around 8-bay workshop, almost close to 1 acre land. Cochin also we have half an acre land. Yeah, and Chennai workshop is beautiful actually. And
now that's in your own building, owning premises in Chennai?
No, this building is leased out for a long period. The land is leased out, and we done the building. In Cochin also, both the place we have a long lease, but it was all plain ground. We have done the construction.
Fantastic.
We started Bangalore just 2 years back.
Okay, you started in Bangalore 2 years back.
I think
that is the biggest facility you have?
With respect to the visibility turnover, Bangalore, as you know, is the capital of all India. Okay. So Bangalore, we have something called a Vista competition. That's how my company name came. So Vista stands those days for Olo International Service Technicians Association. Now they changed the definition of the name. So my dealership name is Vista, which is actually a technicians association, and there's a competition, global competition. So last time we won India, and we went to Sweden for the semi-final, and where one guy came from Australia. Then he came to me and touched the arm for a shake hand. And he told me he know me. I asked him how you know me. He's an Australian. He told me, how can we don't know a Bangalore dealer of Volvo? Then I was really shocked. Then he said, Bangalore means India, and a Bangalore dealer means India dealer. He was telling the same word. And so, I mean, Bangalore dealer means people know globally who is working in Volvo anywhere in the world. Oh, although our big market spread, they are having spread across 190 countries. Almost every market Volvo is there. So we meet people each other during competitions. We used to frequently win competition and go to different part of the world. We went to Australia, Brazil, Sweden, so many countries for participating competition. The winners of the country will go for competition. So technically also we were very strong. And Bangalore dealership, of course, give a lot of visibility. I mean, globally, Bangalore dealership give a lot of visibility. Even we went to Brazil for competition. People in Europe, entire Asia, they know Bangalore dealer. When they say India, they will say Bangalore. Like IT company, although also India means Bangalore. Yeah.
So now, as on date, how many employees do you have, and what is the total turnover?
We have around 100 employees right now, and we have some more additional business activity. We have two companies. We are starting one more company, which will be the third company. So although have a 3-4 verticals actually. As you know, you were earlier with your previous company, you know that like Olo sold Olo car to Ford in 90s. Then Olo was not with Olo car was not with Olo group. Then Olo group is expanded in a big way. So Olo want to focus on one product. You know, being a car dealer, I mean, car manufacturer is really challenging. Every 2 year, the customer expect a new model, and to make a new model, the cost of R&D, they need a lot of volume, and Olo car sales volume is very less. So they sold out the car, and they have acquired a lot of truck company. So Olo acquired Mac in America. They acquired Renault in France. They acquired Nissan in Australia. No, sorry, Japan. Then they acquired a company called Dongfeng in China. It is like Tata Motors in India. Dongfeng is very famous in China. And there are JVs. They have a JV in India with Aisha Motors. So Olo have so many brands in their kitty. And within the Olo group, they have verticals. One is Olo Truck. As I told you, 80% of the business comes from Olo Truck. Then they have Olo Bus, which contributes around maybe less than 10%. Then they have Olo Construction Equipment. Then they have Olo Marine Engines called Olo Penda. This is more than 100-year-old company. It is 1907 company. That company is already 113-year-old. When IC engines were invented in only those time, they were making steam engines. And that company was taken over by Volvo. Volvo will celebrate their century in next 4 years. Volvo started in 1924. So in 2024, they will be having their century. But this company is already 117-year-old. So I am a dealer for that company also, which handles that company have two verticals. One is marine division, one is industrial division. So almost all the small boats with Indian Navy is fitted with Olo engine. So Southern Naval Command is headquartered in Cochin. We have 4 naval commands in India, and Southern Naval Command is one of the biggest command, and the headquarters in Cochin. And we have almost 100 engines, marine engines in India. We were the dealer for that, and we import engines from Sweden, and all luxury yachts, like all big business people in Cochin, they have a luxury yacht. Most of them are fitted with all Penda engines. They have petrol engine also that comes from USA. So that I am taking care of the sales and service in Kerala and Lakshadweep. There is one division. Then we have Olo Trucks and Bus for Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and Olo Bus in Karnataka. So considering that all group turnover put together, we are close to 40 crore and around 100 employees with all the divisions put together.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. In fact, team, if you observe in every word of Pro CV, you can see that passion towards the brand Volvo and the work that he has been doing. And that exactly has been the secret for his success. He started off as a technician with Tata Motors, and from there he has grown to be an entrepreneur today, which has the one of the largest regions covered in India. They are one of the largest dealers of Volvo in India, and not only that, today they have more than 100 employees with a turnover of more than 40 crores. And all this happened in a small period of 15 years. Yes, all this definitely shows the kind of dedication, passion, and hard work that has been put in by ProCB into this venture. So this exactly is the challenge that every one of us face as an entrepreneur, and ProCB has put that in front of us wonderfully. So we thank ProCB for that. So ProCB, before we go to the last part, that is answering questions from our members, I would like to ask you one question. So what are your future plans? What next with Vista Drivelines Private Limited?
We already started a couple of companies in between. During COVID time, I've done a wonderful thing. Being an entrepreneur, I have to share that. I forgot to told you. I have a lot of friends. One of my friend from Government Medical College Kottayam told me to. They have a problem for face shield for COVID. They said they need a face shield. So I have a friend. He is from IIT Madras. So we both sat together and we designed a product. Then we started making it. I make some 10 of them during the first lockdown. The first lockdown announced by our Prime Minister. That was on May 24th, and just for 3 weeks. So that time we were not supposed to come out of your compound. So that time I got a special permission and we made one. Then that became a news in the local channel, Malayalam Manorama, Madhurabhumi. Then next day the minister came near my house and he said, I want to meet this guy. Then I met him. Then they gave me special permission. Then we started making it. Then that became a big news. And we manufactured that product in May 1st. I mean, just 3 months back. Within 3 months, we have sold 1 lakh face shield. And that's a new company floated with my friend, and we done around 45 lakh turnover. We done 1 lakh face shield, and last week it was banned to export face shield from India because of the COVID pandemic. Last week the export is lifted, and this week we are sending the face shield to Japan, America, France, Dubai, Singapore, and Australia. A small thing we just started 3 months back. So there is a different entrepreneurship. So this all we could do because of my existing Vista Driveline Motors background. That is a different company name called Mudida Technologies. With that company, we are making a lot of other products like the automatic hand sanitizer dispenser and couple of COVID-related product. But still, we want to maintain that company and make more product which will make our life easy. In addition to that, we already started a company with one of my friend, which is an EV electric vehicle project. Okay, so we already floated that company. That company, our idea was to convert the existing fossil fuel vehicle into an electric vehicle. So I met a lot of people. I met the Kerala Minister, Transport Commissioner, not Transport Commissioner, Transport Secretary, all government officials. Even we are still not taken off the EV vehicle fully. Once the infrastructure is in place, our idea is to convert existing vehicle to electric vehicle. So we had the project, we done halfway through. That is one project because electric is going to be the future. And even all truck and bus, a lot of things are happening with electric. So we want to see forward and see what is happening, and we have to shift accordingly. So EV, definitely we will get into EV. We were thinking of having some small production unit also, maybe a two-wheeler or then the conversion of existing car into electric vehicle. Then we are getting into some other product also related to futuristic product with respect to automobile. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, team, I'm sure also understanding ProCB's life and the way his career has taken a turn. And it's amazing to see how how he has used an opportunity when even COVID lockdown started to convert it to, an opportunity. So now, team, over to you for your questions. So Pro Sibi is ready to answer your questions now. So let's get the questions coming in. So we already have a few questions on the chat board. Let me take that across to Pro Sibi. So Pro Sibi, we have a few questions from our members. So
Yeah.
let me read them out to you one by one. So this is a question from Pro Vignesh. Pro Vignesh has been one of our avid viewer. So Pro Vignesh has a question one. How important is it to have money and then venture, or follow the instinct and then move ahead as you have done?
Sorry?
How important is it to have money venture, or just get going with the venture and think about everything else later?
I started with my business. Now we have 40 crore turnover and probably more than 10 crore, definitely more than 10 crore. I don't know. I never look into the asset in the company, but I started with zero money in my hand. You don't believe. When I started, I had nothing except my passion and dedication and my hard work. Actually, I had nothing. I got money from my sister. I think she pledged this gold and give me money. I don't still remember how she arranged the money. Some few lakh I got, and my partner friend was there. He also give equal money, so we started equally. Because of some reason, now he is no more in the company. So I have taken over that from him at his wish. Then we took some loan. No, we have to be lean. Maybe next time when we have time, not immediately. I would like to give a training to you on that in a separate way. If there is a platform, if Srikanth is okay, I don't know. When I went to Japan, you see in 1940s after the Hiroshima Nagasaki attack, they were literally poor. They don't have money to eat food actually, and they become number two in the economy globally. They were only exactly 1/10 of India with respect to the number of people and the geographical area. And you will not believe, I don't know, any Japanese people disagree with me. We are, they are, their intelligence level is lesser than our intelligence level, which I could really see in Japan. They have conducted the World Expo in 1980s. Now in 2020, Dubai is struggling to have the World Expo. So such an exposure they have reached only without no money. Without any money, they started. And Toyota was a cloth making company, and they started their vehicle only in 1930s, 1938, and they become number one automobile manufacturer in the world without anything. They started from scratch. And we were talking about India is so young. We were only 1947 independent, but they were not even having enough money to eat food in 1940s. But they have grown. How they know how to work hard. We had a focus approach. We should have a lean approach. If you invest more and try to recover money, I have not done that actually. Whatever I am reinvesting is whatever I made. I didn't bring any capital to the company, if you ask me. We are really work, but I cannot. I go to a point that question. My answer is money is not important. Money will come later. You follow your passion. You follow your you target the excellence, success, and money will come. But talking is easy. That need a elaborate discussion, but I don't think we cannot take it right now. But your answer is not yes. Money is not the first primary.
Thank you. And we go to the next question. So this is also by Pro Vignesh. So do you feel truck business is better than bus in terms of profitability?
I don't know about other truck and bus, but of course, in Volvo, truck business is more profitable. I am more concerned about my customer's profit, to be very frank with you. So if the customer make money, I can also make money. Now the bus industry is bleeding because of so many reasons. A single answer is truck business is more profitable than bus business, no doubt.
Okay. And we have the next question. This is from Srinivasan BN. Where do you look at the commercial vehicle market post-COVID era?
There are a lot of discussion. As I told in the book, Thinking Out of Clearly, people predict so many things. I have attended so many webinars about the future of passenger vehicle, commercial vehicle. I have seen experts talking globally. There was an event where Karnataka KSRTC MD, Olo MD, a couple of people from Indonesia, Australia, they were all talking. And they have their own views. To be very frank with you, I am not an expert about prediction. And we have our own limitation. Things will turn around, and I'm not competent to answer a question if you ask me. We have to focus on what we do, enjoy, try to foresee things. Even in Japan, they were saying there is nothing called long-term strategy, because the long-term is very short-term now, because the technology advancement, the world is moving in a completely different direction. So we cannot predict anything. Nobody can predict anything. That is what I believe. So of course, goods has to move, people has to move, and somebody is saying there will be boom, somebody is saying there will be further issue. I really don't know actually.
So maybe I can put it this way. So it is we adapting to the change as fast as possible that can bring us success.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's all. We cannot tell what is going to happen. We can see and shift accordingly, adapt to the situation. You are absolutely right, Srikanth. You are absolutely right.
Yes. So we need to adopt, we need to change as per the situation, and it's how fast we can change that depends, that decides our success in this industry. That's something very important, team. So even you see, COVID was never expected. It is not something in our plan.
Yes.
But many of us, and including Pro Sibi, have actually found an opportunity in that situation also.
Yeah.
So it is the attitude in us
Absolutely.
to change, to adapt fast, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
And that exactly is what I want to show through Inspire. So there are a lot of examples like Pro Sibi who have taken opportunities in such a COVID era. Whereas there are a lot of people who have sat at home thinking, oh my God, I've lost my job. What next?
Here, Srikanth. Yeah, Srikanth, I will tell you, I really enjoyed COVID time making this face shield. And as I told you, we done a turnover of 40 lakh by selling a 50 rupee product, 50, 60 rupee product. My one filter will be 3,000, 4,000 rupees, a Volvo truck product. With that, we were making only that much of money per month. But here, selling a very small consumable item, we could make 40, 50 lakhs turnover. So small thing. And more than that, there was no manpower, travel restriction, and you have to take a pass every day going out. But I was so busy working daily 2 o'clock in the night, and we were fully engaged. Okay. And you will find opportunity in every challenge situation. Absolutely. But by the time you should have the right attitude. Attitude cannot be developed overnight. It is like a habit has to be inculcated, so that when there's an opportunity, you should be flexible. You should try to operate lean. Always think about money second. If you are ready to put in the labor, or your brain and your time and your presence is more important than money. So this we started without no money, without any investment. You don't believe this facial manufacturing thing. We only invested 1 lakh rupees, and we made a turnover of 50 lakh rupees within 3 months. Where is the matter of money?
That was a fantastic share, Pro Sibi, and it was an amazing show as well. So, team, I'm sure as we start talking, there are a lot of things to talk, and that never ends. But of course, unfortunately, time has come to an end. So we've already overshooted our time by 10 minutes. But it was really amazing to hear to the inspiring story from Pro Sibi. We will have Pro Sibi in future also in other programs. Of course, Pro Sibi has is interested in sharing something more. And I would like to remind one thing which Pro Sibi forgot to share, I guess. He is so enthusiastic about changing himself, that he has been continuously studying one after other. I think this is one thing Pro Sibi should share it himself again. I'll just pass it on to him. But one final thing which Pro Sibi will share, and then we'll end the show. So Sibi, could you just tell them what all degrees and certifications you have done?
Yeah, that is another thing. I mean, I believe, as I told you, I could not learn much. I didn't even go to pre-degree. I just completed my technical high school. Then I went to polytechnic. So at the age of 18, I started my career. then I thought I had to learn a lot of things. Even my only point to all my employees where I am little bit dissatisfied is nobody want to update their career. Even yesterday I learned a very interesting technique in Excel. Everybody say they Excel and then no Excel. Now all these technical guys, but I am telling you, almost everybody know only less than 2 or 3% of Excel. Excel is a advanced thing. You can do everything with. I'm talking about Microsoft Excel, and every week I will learn some new thing about Excel, because learning is a continuous process. And I have done my BCom from IGNO, Indira Gandhi Open University. Later, I've done my psychology BSc. Then I have done my MSc in psychology because of my friend. Then I done my PhD. I am done my MPhil, and I'm doing my PhD on road safety. I'm getting support from Sweden, Swedish government scientist wing, because every year 13-14 lakhs people die all over the world because of road accident, and the number one death for the at the age between 15 to is road accident. So I want to have an advanced institute. I forgot to tell that also, which already in the ANMIL, to make a driver training institute for those who think they are a very good driver. I don't want to teach anybody about driving. I want to teach driving people. They already think they know driving and they are driving. So like an advanced driving institute, which is already on the process. Then I have done my postgraduate from XLRI Jamshedpur. I'm joining a new course in IIT Madras now, which is about, they just started because of COVID, but it is a very good certification program, which will be on data mining and software like Python and all. So that I just applied with one of my friend. He is a doctor from Government Medical College. He also told me about data analysis. It's an IIT course. We just applied for. I don't know where I'll get it or not. So presently, BCom, BSc, MSc, doing PhD, XLRI, PG in management. Then I have done this Japan. I went for a course actually, which is a Toyota management course, which is a very advanced and beautiful course. I'm writing a small article and a blog on that. Maybe later, after my blog, we can have a small presentation or a training on how to manage your schedule and timing in a professional way and run a business with very less money, a lean business operation training. Then, yeah, these are the main thing. In between I keep on learning, like as I said, Excel, keep on learning a lot of things. I always enjoy, and even your brain needs new learning, which will give a lot of energy to the brain. So to keep the brain active, keep learning something. That is my little bit of suggestion to all of you.
So may I ask you, what's your age right now?
I'm 45.
So team, at the age of 45, Pro Sibi is still young enough and ready to learn. How many of you are ready to learn? I believe in something similar. There's no end to learning in your life. This is just the start, whatever age we are in. So Pro Sibi has proven it to us today yet again. So team, with that, I conclude the first episode of Inspire with REVVUP. And of course, as Sibi promised, Sibi will be coming up with his new sessions on how to manage your time and all those things in future sessions, right? So this is just the start. So team, let us thank Pro Sibi for coming on Inspire with ARPRO. And with that, we come to end of the session. Thank you, Pro Sibi. Later.
Definitely, thank you so much for giving an opportunity to share my experience. I'm always happy to, share and help wherever time and this thing allows. Yeah.